How do you live when you have lost the person who meant the world to you? Do you heal? Do you ever learn to love again? These are the questions that inspired Miyazaki to come out of retirement and direct The Boy and the Heron, a Studio Ghibli picture that brought him the 2024 Best Animated Feature Oscar.
All right, and the Oscar goes to The Boy and the Heron.
A dreamlike fantasy adventure romp, The Boy and the Heron hits close to home with its portrayal of raw trauma lodged deep inside the mind. And though it won the Best Animated Feature at the Oscars this year, Miyazaki's work isn't at its best in this film. Miyazaki is juggling far too many characters both in the real world and the one Mahito has fallen into. Based on the 1937 novel How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino, which has always been an important book for Miyazaki. The movie opens with 11-year-old Mahito lamenting the death of his mother in a Tokyo hospital fire during the Pacific War. Mahito's father, Soichi, an air munition factory owner, marries his late wife's sister Natsuko, and the boy is unable to accept the arrival of a stepmother, let alone the fact that she is pregnant. After the war, Mahito and his father relocate to Natsuko's rural ancestral home, where he comes across a talking grey heron that tells him his biological mother is still alive. The heron leads Mahito to a seal tower built by Natsuko's great-grand-uncle who had disappeared mysteriously at the location. As the heron keeps luring Mahito in the tower with the promise of finding his mother, the suspicious boy crafts a bow and arrow to kill the bird. It is when he stumbles upon a book called How Do You Live that Mahito finally starts to process his trauma of losing his mother and tries to come to terms with his new reality. When Natsuko walks into the tower one day and gets lost, Mahito decides to let go of his bitterness and look for his stepmother in this mysterious world. In this fantastical world, Mahito meets the younger versions of people from his world, like Kiriko the maid and his mother Lady Himi, filled with man-eating parakeets, a parakeet king, and bubble-like spirits called Vara Vara. This world is an extension of Mahito's subconscious where grief holds him back from feeling affection for his new mother. When Natsuko's great-grand-uncle tries to convince Mahito to stay back and hold the reign of this world after his death, the boy refuses as he wants to pave his own path, rather than continuing with someone else's work. The wizard-like great-grand-uncle who goes to great lengths to find a rock to keep the fantastical world from falling apart is perhaps in a way Miyazaki himself. One is almost tempted to see the veteran filmmaker in him, looking for an heir to carry on his life's work, Studio Ghibli. Through the Grey Heron, Miyazaki shows how a stranger can become a friend and soothe you in bleak times. From appearing as a malicious creature at first to being Mahito's companion in his adventure. The heron becomes his compass, not only guiding him in the other world, but also setting him on the path to recovery. Mahito overcomes his grief by choosing to live in the present, realizing that only he can pull himself out from the pits of sadness, guilt, and ill will. It is as if Miyazaki is asking us the question we all tend to avoid: how do you live? I'd still argue that despite being a very personal film by Miyazaki, this isn't his best Studio Ghibli production. Even though everything I read online really raised my expectations for it, I'd still say that these three movies are still better than The Boy and the Heron. And before we wrap up, don't forget to join the Discord server and be sure to subscribe to the channel. And while we are on the topic of personal films, don't miss this video in which I talk about another personal film and a directorial debut by one of my favorite actors working right now.